Time now for Coming In Hot with Brent Wallace and former Ottawa Senator Jason York.
Six months to Christmas, Yorkie. Welcome to the show, everybody. Brent Wallace alongside Jason York. Carter Hutton will join us shortly. This show is always brought to you by Bet365. Nice to see everybody in the chat today. Patrick Murphy wondering what kind of horse trading Wally did to get Yorkie on the show today.
Oh, and tomorrow. I think we're doing a surprise show tomorrow, too.
So, as you know, Yorkie, I don't want to say anything more because we've been trying to
we'll keep it on the down low. We'll keep it on the down low.
It just hasn't worked out schedule wise. So tomorrow we shall see. So it should be 1 p.m. tomorrow. We'll keep you posted.
Okay. All right. Sounds good to me.
I just appreciate you being here. Were you on the course today?
I was. Yeah, I had an 8 a.m.er this morning. Banged the ball around a little bit. Just got out of the cold tub, Wally. A little cold tub after golf feels great. 52 degrees. You get in there at about 52. You want your cold tub anywhere between 48 to 56 degrees is optimum plunging temperature.
So what is that in Celsius since we're in Canada?
No, that is Celsius. Well, I just know to do it the reverse. You double it and add 30. So if it's Canadian, like let's say it's 10, so you double it, 20, add 30. I had it at 12 degrees. 12 degrees.
Okay. When I was away last week, that's what the temperature was where I was.
Oh yeah, you were in
I was in New Brunswick. It was so cold. It was between 12 and 14 degrees. I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, it was cold and I didn't enjoy it.
Good trip though.
Great trip. Trip.
Do you meet up with the old church choir when you're back in town? Go over the old alumni from the choir from the
but all right, I'll tell you. So I saw my mom, obviously, went home, and when I'm leaving, she hands me a bag, but I can tell there's books in it. She goes, this is for you, do what you want with it. And I'm like, what are you handing me? I open it and it's 2 Bibles that I used to have. All I could think of was you in the church choir for whatever reason.
Wally, are you a Bible thumper? Are you a Bible thumper?
No, like one was when I was like 5 years old, and the other one was like my grandparents gave it to me or something. Yeah. Anyway, we're moving on.
So good.
There's some news today. This is what makes the this time of year fun. There's news around the organization. So Steve Staios, the GM and president of hockey operations, spoke today, and Don Boyd both spoke for about 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. Now, Steve, as you know, Yorkie, not big on divulging very much information.
Tight to the vest as always.
He doesn't like to. Yeah. So Claude Giroux, they're still working away. It was Pierre LeBrun who tweeted today that they're continuing to talk. However, the two sides remain with a void in between the two, if you will. So I don't know what it means. Just means we're getting close. 6 days now to trade.
Why don't you just send Steve a text and ask him yourself? Say what's going on. So
I think he was trolling me today.
Why? What's going on?
So obviously, we're in the media center, as you know, top of Gate 3. Where we do the meals, which is just off to the left of Gate 3, is where they're doing their scouting meetings, because it's just a big room and whatever. So at the end of the presser, everybody leaves. Obviously, Steve and Don Boyd are over, still doing their meetings. But Julia McKenzie and I are in the media center. I'm just finishing up my audio or my video stuff to post, and he walks in on his phone. And then he turns around and he's like, yeah, no, what kind of size is he? And that's it. And then he walks out and I'm like, you totally know you knew we were here. You're just playing with us right now.
Oh, absolutely he is.
The GM's not walking around the building just yapping about making deals. I think he was trolling me.
I love the new style. Keep it tight to the vest. Don't tell anybody what you're doing. Keep people guessing. Like, you don't have to divulge information.
No. So The other thing was he said, however, Nick Jensen, he believes, as he's seen the videos, as he said, the rollerblading and the bowling, that he is ahead of schedule, but he wouldn't say how far ahead. Like, is he going to be ready for camp? So we don't know that yet. What else? He throws out little tidbits. You got to almost read between the lines. The last thing, though, which I think was the biggest, was journalist, asked about the 21st pick, what he was willing to do with it. Here's the clip.
As we looked at it, we felt more comfortable with the 21st pick, that there was going to be a player that we like at that pick. Hard to handicap. I mean, we kind of feel like we have a grouping there. I don't see any scenario where we'll trade up, but we'll have some discussions on some trade back possibilities.
I believe, because he mentioned it again later, I think they're trading down the 21st pick in order to acquire a pick, and B, more assets, whether it's another pick or two. I suspect they're not going to be picking at 21.
Yeah. How about the draft? Nobody's it's virtual.
Correct.
That's crazy. I
think about it. It's kind of like COVID when it had to be virtual then too.
I ran into a friend of the show, Andy Scott, today.
Ooh.
Yeah, agent to the Stars. He was just finishing up his round. He was talking about the draft. He's like, yeah, it's. So I said, you go? And he goes, and I forgot. He goes, no, nobody's going. He goes, it's all virtual. So it's kind of weird.
It's weird because the players are all in a room, like they're all in LA, and each team is sending a representative to meet. But the only time Steve Staios and Don Boyd or whatever are going to chat with this pick is virtually after they draft him. And so the next day they're expected to fly to their cities and meet them in person. But it's just all a video call, which I guess we're all used to it by now.
Yeah. It's when you really think about it, like these young men, they're still kind of boys that get picked. Like you get drafted, then the next week you're flying to the draft, you're flying to a combine, everything's just happening so quick. Like sure, it's great. Like, so we were talking about this today after golf with Andy and all the guys at the table.
Name drop.
Sure, the draft's great if you're picked high, but for the majority of the people there, it's pretty stressful. Like, so I was playing with Mark Stone this morning, and he was picked late. And he says, my agent told me not to go. He's like, you didn't even go to the draft. I went to the first draft, didn't get picked. It's great if
you got passed over in your first draft.
Oh man, I was I went to Montreal. That's where the draft was. It was in the old Forum, and at the time I had Rick Curran, and went to the draft. Was rated fairly high. I think top 30, top 35. But back then you had to go. If it was your first year of eligibility, you had to go in the first 3 rounds. That was the old rule. I don't know if you remember that. So I went there. I was told to go. Sat there, didn't get picked, and then got in my car and drove home after. But I wasn't that disappointed that year because I didn't really think I was very good that year. I had a horrendous year my first year junior. I was a first-round pick to the OHL, but it was a horrible environment. I was in Hamilton with Bill LaForge, and you've heard some of the stories I've told about that. It was crazy. And I had actually gotten traded to the Windsor Spitfires before I went to the draft. So I was then told later that LaForge went to all the teams. And I think he told them there. I think he told a lot of the teams that I was on drugs, Wally.
Really?
Yes. Can you believe that?
Did he not? What happened between the two of you?
Oh God, it was just. Well, they traded me. Just things didn't work out. I wasn't a bad kid or anything. It was just he's just a terrible person, and just a terrible human being. And he just went around and badmouthed me to all the teams. Wow. I didn't know it at the time, but Tom Webster and Paul Maurice was beginning his coaching career in Windsor. They ended up telling me that later when I got traded to Windsor. They're like, yeah, we were told that you were like a wreck mentally and you were finished. And so we watched you and we took, anyways, I ended up going from 13 points. I had 13 points as a defenseman. I was a first round draft pick in the OHL. The next year, playing with Paul Maurice as my D coach, who was basically my mentor back then.
Yeah.
I went from 13 to 63, threw up 63. And I'm like, okay, now I probably deserve to be drafted. But I got passed over again. And then I finally got drafted in my third year junior as a 19-year-old in the 7th round. But yeah, the draft's very stressful. Unless you're a shoe-in that you know you're going high, it's probably not a good idea to go. So I like the fact it's virtual. It's like, and also too, it's a ton of money. It's a ton of money to put on a draft too, Wally. Like you saw,
got plenty of money. Stop. They rented out the Vegas Sphere.
Yeah,
we're good with money.
I don't know. And they like,
come on.
Do you want to draft? Do you like having the big draft?
Absolutely. Do you not remember last year at the Sphere? I thought that was amazing.
I'm just talking from a player's perspective. Sure. It's
so,
great.
A player's perspective. It's interesting to me because if I'm a 5th, 6th round pick potential, the question is, do I go or not? But the kids who I've watched at the draft who get picked later, they're so appreciative when they come down. Like they don't get the fanfare, but for them, it's amazing. Like you just got drafted in the National Hockey League. I'd want to be there. You know what? If you told me there was an outside chance I could be drafted, I would sit there till the end of time.
I get it. But like, and also too, really like a draft on television, it's horrendous. Like it's like watching a draft.
It's hard. So with outside the first round. Yeah. And they switched the first round, which is
awful. Like to me, do it virtual. Sure. There's some,
no, I hate it.
Yeah, I like it.
Hate
it. You don't need it.
Listen, what do you say? You show I know we've got to move on. You show all the pictures of kids. That's their draft picture. They're up on the stage. They got their arms. Like that picture stays with them forever. 50% of all players never play in the National Hockey League, roughly. Depends on the year, whatever.
Yeah.
That's that one moment where, that's I just.
So you're saying a person, I got drafted, but I never made it. So
it doesn't matter. You still got. Out of all the hundreds of kids that were available, they still took a chance on you.
To me, I'm just going to be bitter if I'm thinking back of that memory. I didn't have what it took. I got picked, but I didn't quite have what it took to make it to the NHL.
No. Take all the wins you get in life. Take them all. So it sounds like you'd be that coach that drives me nuts. I remember there was a U13 coach. The team was dominant. They won their local league. And the coach is like, no. That's not the trophy we're here for. We're here to win the provincials. So don't play. Just get off the ice. They didn't celebrate the win. Guess what? They didn't win the trophy either. They didn't win provincials.
Well, are you the parent handing out freezies?
No, I don't like participation badges, but I like the wins. If you win in a trophy anywhere, you accept all of that. I don't understand why we try so hard to diminish everybody. If you get drafted in the National Hockey League, that's amazing.
Sure, yeah, no, it's good. It's good, but if you get drafted and you don't make it, it kind of sucks.
I will.
It's like giving somebody a present then taking it away. Here you go.
No, what?
Here's your NHL, and there's like a little. It's like the old trick of the old gag where you put the $5 bill on the floor.
No,
and you pull it away.
It's not. Okay,
it is.
No, it's not. I'm gonna take care of some business, then we're gonna get Carter on here. By the way, Man of the Year, Carter Hutton. We're gonna get to that later in the show.
Why is he? Man of the Year?
I gotta ask him about this. All right, this show brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers. More than 85 locations across the country through Charm and their sister brands. Get custom ring building delivered in less than 4 weeks with a Charm Masterpiece program and an unbeatable pricing policy. Don't forget, guys, if you're getting engaged, go see them at Charm. Apply for the Charm Diamond Flexity card today and get approved in minutes. For more information, go to charmdiamondcenters.com. Chosen forever, Charm Diamond Centers. And of course, by Gabriel Pizza, the official pizza of the Ottawa Senators is coming in hot. Download the Gabriel Pizza app, earn points with every order, and unlock exclusive deals through Gabriel Pizza Perks. Go to GabrielPizza.com or check out the app for daily specials. Gabriel Pizza. Bigger, better, Gabriel. Hang on with me, Jake. Merkley Supply. I'm not even waiting for Yorkie to get involved here today. They have over a century of passion, expertise, and the highest quality missionary supply. They're home to the largest masonry boutique in Eastern Ontario. They deliver to Ottawa, Gatineau, Kingston, Ottawa Valley, and the surrounding areas. If you're looking for stone brick, landscaping products, or specialty building supplies, count on Merkley Supply to have it for you. Go to merkleysupply.com or visit their showroom in Hintonburg. Mark every milestone. And finally, by Club EG. Now, the Commissioners Open is coming up next month. It's basically a month from now. It's the PGA Tour's America's event. It's running from July 24th to 27th at Eagle Creek Golf Course. 156 professionals from over 16 countries compete over 4 rounds of golf. You can get involved. You can volunteer. You can just come out and watch. You can buy tickets. You can purchase a pro-am team. This event is massive for Ottawa. Many guys ranked in the top 500 in the world. Go to ottawaopen.golf. They have all the information is there. Check it out. It's a great event. Tomorrow on the show, we're giving away VIP ticket. It's got a value of $600. It's free food and all that stuff. Check us out tomorrow. But for now, we get to welcome in Carter Hutton on our anniversary special show because Carter joined our show for the first time 1 year ago today.
Wow.
There he is. I know.
Here, eh? It feels like yesterday. You know, Brent, it's moments like this, you know, makes me understand why I got into this side now after playing.
Did Wally at least send you a coming in hot mug? Did you get one of these?
I got nothing. I got, but he does guilt me in. I actually enjoy every time I see a text from Brent Wallace. It was late night last night. I never get back to him till today, but it's always, he's already got me scheduled in. He guilts me into it. And I'm very willing.
I feel you.
Go together. It's good.
I feel you, man.
I do it late, hoping you're tired and not really paying attention.
Well, at least send Hutz a mug for God's sake. At least get him a mug.
With the tariffs, I don't know, it'll be expensive.
Yeah. Times are tough.
Where are you? You're in Buffalo right now?
No, I'm in Thunder Bay.
You're in Thunder Bay. Okay. So maybe I can get it shipped to you.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Hey, how's Thunder Bay in the summer, by the way? What's going on up there?
Awesome. Good place to live. It's cottage country, right? So outside the city. So my wife and I, it was my first year in Nashville. I have to thank James Neal because I was finally making a little bit of money and I wanted to buy this camp and I was scared. And he was like, well, that guy's got Ferraris and stuff. So he didn't care. He was like, buy it. Like, what are you doing? Buy it. This is what we do. And I have a cabin outside the city. It's about half an hour. And that was where we lived. So I would play hockey and then we'd come home. I'd live there. I'd train. And then once we started a family, we have a house in the city. So now being a local Thunder Bayan, this is the time of year we're out there. It's beautiful. I think we had sun last night till almost 10:45 because we're on the far side of the Eastern time zone. So it's tricky. Those weekends, they get away from you. You're at the lake and you're having a few drinks. Next thing you know, we're like, it's 8, 9 o'clock. We're like, we should probably feed our kids, honey? That's the way it goes. They're learning on the fly here. So are we.
Here's your hot dog. Okay. Lots of questions to ask you about. First of all, gentlemen, as you played, no, Carter, I don't think you would have played with Alex Mogilny, but Yorkie certainly did. We finally get to see Zidane Chars in the Hall of Fame and Joe Thornton and others, but Alex Mogilny is the big one to me. Are we finally happy to see that Elmo has joined the club?
You know, Yorkie, for me, I think so, right? You look at those numbers, it's undeniable, right? I know the games played aren't up with some of the guys, but that being said, I feel like this was one that every single year seemed to come to the forefront of, why isn't Mogilny in the conversation? Why isn't he there? And this was a difference maker a little bit before my time, but that being said, he's obviously a guy that, helped Buffalo. And I think everyone in Buffalo needed this one too. The way they've been the last 14 years, missing the playoffs, and obviously a good pull for him to get in here.
He got 76 1 year? I'm trying to remember. He threw up 76 goals.
No, 70. Sorry, yes, he did. In Buffalo, 92, 93.
Yeah.
77 games, 76 goals, 127.
So this is like when I look at guys that just my personal opinion that belong in the Hall of Fame, I think one of the, for me, a criteria is, were you at one time considered one of the best players in the game? And there was about a 3-year period where Mogilny was right there. I remember playing against this guy. His skill, his speed were off the charts. Like, he was that good. I thought he should have got in sooner. He's I don't know what the reasoning was for it, but I'm just telling you from playing against him, I think he deserves it. He was one of the best in that era when there was a lot of superstars. For about a 3-year period, you could make an argument that he was one of the top 5 for sure in the game. For that 1 or 2 years, maybe even top 3.
Well, he had 55 goals in 95, 96 with Vancouver.
Like that's, you know how hard it is to score 76 goals in the NHL?
Well,
Like
we treat 30 now as a big deal.
76.
It's actually insane. That is a lot of goals. And obviously in a time where it was tough to play too, right? Like the stick work and the obstruction and to be able to get that done is pretty impressive. So I think that is a relief for him. And sometimes I feel like it adds value to the weight. You know, I do think sometimes we get guys in right away and there's a long list of guys, and I think it adds a little more value to it, I'm sure, on his end.
Also too, Huts, like when I was in the early 90s, when the Russian guys first started coming over, it was guys were really hard on them, playing against them, playing even their teammates. Like guys weren't well liked. Like it was like, you're coming over here, you're stealing our jobs, you stinky Russian and Russian shower and all this stuff. It was just guys got abused. I remember we had a guy in the minors. His name was Dmitry Modkov. Came over on a one-way in Detroit. Lasted 1 year, went back to Russia because there were guys on the team beating on this guy every day in practice because it's just, that's the way it was. Like it was, the NHL was a mean, tough league. So anybody that's putting up those kind of numbers and a European guy, like it was a tough, like those were tough times to do that. So I imagine a guy like that playing now though, with the rules, the power plays, not being able to, like he was getting hooked and held and friggin' punched in the head, cross-checked in the back. Like it's pretty impressive.
I agree. They dealt with a lot and the skills through the roof now. But that being said, I know we were talking about that the other day. I was actually just with a guy that's a big Hab fan. They're talking about Demidov, like if they need to get another Russian there with them. And I just said, I was trying to explain to him, you got to be careful with the Russian community because then they just segregate themselves and they become a clique. And I played with a lot of good Russians, but sometimes when they get in a group, it's a demand. And it's changed, right? I think that mindset of players is pretty more open-minded. But yeah, he's dealt with a lot. It's pretty impressive to see what he's done. And obviously he's getting rewarded for it now.
What do you think of the rest of the guys, Huts, that got in?
Well, Joe Thornton's got a soft spot in my heart. So my first ever call up was to the Philadelphia Flyers right out of school. I played 4 games in the American League on an ATO. I got called up as an emergency backup. And then the next year I signed with Worcester Sharks playing the American Hockey League, and I'm Alex Stalock's backup. In the same week, Niittymaki, who's the backup in the NHL, and Alex Stalock both get hurt. Alex actually got stepped on, cut a nerve. It was a crazy thing. He's out for a year. So I springboard from the backup in Worcester right to the NHL. Or I get there, it's a road trip. They take us to New York City. You know, the Sharks always do a big Eastern swing in like the new year, January, February. So I'm on this trip, and I remember me and Logan Couture were the rookies. He's a full-time guy. I'm just trying to fit in the best I can. And we go to New York City, and Joe Thornton takes me and Logan Couture out all day, takes us for dinner. And I was on the road for a full month, and I never missed a meal. I never paid for a drink. He called me Charlie Huddy the whole time, right? Charlie, right? So laughing, I was like, does this guy just think my name's Charlie? I'm not going to correct him. Like, it's Joe Thornton. This is so cool. Like, and then to this day, I remember I signed a hockey card for him. It was still in his stall years later because Tom Holy, who's with the Dallas Stars now, he ended up sending me a photo of it being like, Joe still has this years later. And every time we would play the San Jose Sharks, I was in Nashville. I'd be stretching at the red line. Jumbo would come over and he would share a few moments that we had together. We had a lot of fun and things I'm not going to say right now in public, but he was always a friend of mine. And I always laugh because every time we play the Sharks, Shea Weber would go to me like, hey, Huts, remember you're on the Preds, okay? Like, leave Joe Thornton alone. I'm like, I'm not going to make Joe Thornton not come talk to me, okay? This is pretty cool. And just to finish it off, I'm playing in Nashville. It was my 3rd year. And Mike Aldrich, their head equipment manager, comes over one day. And he's like, pregame Pekka's playing, so I'm just hanging out having a cup of coffee. And he's like, Huts, Jumbo needs a stick. And I'm like, well, for who? Like, from who? He wants, like, Weber, Rene, Fisher, like one of the big guys. He's like, no, he wants one of your sticks signed for his collection. And I was like, that was like to this day is still like the moment where it's like, I'm an NHLer here. I've been in the league for 3 years, but I never really thought I was there. You always have that imposter syndrome. So I think that's a cool moment in a guy that, even his call yesterday with Lanny McDonald and Ron Francis, just how giddy he was and what he brings to the table. And, so that one hits home with me with Joe Thornton getting in there.
Well, you know what that means, eh? Joe Thornton's coming to ask for a stick from Huts. Huts is in the good guy club, Thunder Bay chapter. Like president of the Thunder Bay chapter, Wally, right there. That's pretty cool, though. That's pretty cool.
We'll get into that later. Here's a quick trivia question, Huts. You may know the answer to this. How many goals did Joe Thornton score on you?
Oh, well, okay. So, geez, how many did it might be only one. So my last game, my career, I got hurt I was kind of on the way out there with Arizona, but he scored the last goal ever on me in my career, which is another I enjoy now. In the moment, I didn't like it. How many goals did Jumbo get on me? Well, one for sure.
Yeah,
3 maybe?
just one.
Just what was it? Only the one?
Just the one goal
In my last
Florida.
game, oh man, that one stings. I could have had a good run. I don't think Crosby. How do you find this stuff? How do I look up how many goals?
Yeah, how do you find this stuff?
Because I know Ovi got 9 on me. Ovi got 9. So during this, I've used that was a lot of content for me this year during the chase for greatness. 6 games played, 9 goals against. I didn't get a Budweiser 0. I thought I would get something for 9 goals.
What a great marketing thing for all the goalies that didn't give up a goal.
Hey, Hutz, explain this. I might have asked you this before, but it's topical since Ovechkin just broke the record. How come goalies never figured out that, hey, Ovechkin's over here and he's taking a one-timer, like that's where he is. Like, why not just like go over to that side of the net and wait for him?
Because you just can't pick up his release. Like, it's like you knew it was coming. And again, at one point in their career, in that half wall play that they would have Backstrom work the wall and they'd bump it low and they'd have Oshie in the bumper spot in between the hash marks there for the one-timer or kind of the corner pie position. It was dangerous there too. And you'd know he was there. It's his release though. Like the whip of his stick and where the puck is going is just so deceptive. And it's something that is really hard to explain the way it comes off. I think the best example would be if you were able to slow-mo it down, and as his stick flexes and the blade comes through, the puck goes a different direction. So we rely so much on stick blade action, right? So it's not necessarily how hard you shoot it.
Because he doesn't have an overly hard shot.
No, it's the deception. It's the whip of his stick and the way he leans on it and the way that it like slingshots off, where I would always tell guys like the stick, the easier it is for me. I don't care if you can shoot it 100 miles an hour. I can read where it's going. It's the guys that are deceptive and can get rid of it. And, it's like Austin Matthews has that sort of release where it's so fast and deceptive combo. And for Ovi, it's funny. I did have a good story. I remember Ken Hitchcock saying that he always goes short side. Hutz, he stopped a power play meeting. Hutz, Ovi loves going short side. What do you go? He goes far side, first shot of the game goal. Thanks, Ken. I remember as Petrangelo, I think Bouwmeester lied down to try to block it. They both looked over at the bench right away, like, you said short side.
What did Hitch say after? He
probably had something else. I don't know. Who knows? He was always ragging on us about something. He was an interesting coach, but we loved him.
Do you know since you wanted to know about guys who scored on you, who scored their first, or who'd you allow your first goal against?
Patrick Berglund. Is that right?
I have Alex Steen.
Oh, I thought it was Patrick Berglund. No, that might be. I think my first ever start was with Chicago in St. Louis, and I thought Bergie got the first one ever on me. We used to joke around about it. Then he quit the NHL, so I don't know.
Yeah. Why did he quit? He was still good.
I don't know. He just had some stuff going on at home, and just you know what? He was a unique guy, right? So he got traded to Buffalo. He didn't want to leave St. Louis. Loved it. Loved that. Just a simple guy. Loved Sweden, and then he was just miserable in Buffalo, and he got to the point where he just didn't want to be there, and money wasn't the issue. And I remember Jason Botterill coming in, being like, "Has anyone seen Bergie?" And we're like, we thought he was sick. We just thought something was going on, like you miss a day or two here or there. And then the trainer started asking us, we're like, what? Then one of the guys on the team got a Snapchat and he was singing karaoke in New York City with a bunch of buddies. So he just took off, and then they kind of drew a line in the sand. They're like, you get back here on this day or you're not coming back. And he took the option. He walked away from, I think it was almost $12 million. And he went back to Sweden. And
it was something crazy. Yeah. You are correct. Patrick Berglund. Sorry.
There you go. See, I can do trivia. And
Andy
I think
McDonald and Vladimir
on that game and me too. Schwartzy.
Schwartzy had 2 in a 3-1 loss. That's okay.
And then the next year, I was with the Hawks in 2013. I went for a visit with Nashville. This is another good story. Sorry, I'm hot today.
I like it.
And I'm having a meeting with Mitch Korn and David Poile about signing the next year with the Preds. And David Poile goes, I know you haven't had a lot of NHL experience. You played that one game, but you won that one game, and that's important. And I'm sitting in the meeting being like, I didn't win that game, but I'm not going to correct him in this moment. Let's get this contract signed.
Well, did you tell him after? No.
Have you ever met Mitch Korn?
Once.
He's basically the Yoda of goalie coaches. He's about the size of Yoda too. Just this little guy, but He's really good, isn't he? Huts like as
Oh
far
yeah, he was
as
good. Demanding. You know what? Honestly, he was great for me because there was no. It was just black and white. It was.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I think because of the way that I made the NHL, it was never a silver spooner. So like, if you told me I sucked, I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do to be better? What do I need to work on? I'll put in the effort. I'll do whatever. I never went home and cried and called my agent. So Mitch helped me a lot. And I'm very grateful the way Mitch Korn treated. At times it didn't feel good. At times it sucked. At times he put me through the ringer, but he made me a better player.
Who was the coaching staff when you were in Nashville? Who were
So my first year, it was Barry Trotz.
Yeah.
With Phil was Lane Lambert was there with Barry.
Lane Lambert. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Mitch Korn. And then the next year, Laviolette took. So Phil Housley was there as well. But then Laviolette took over and Phil Housley stayed with Laviolette. And then we had his partner was Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah.
He was with him for a long time, Laviolette, until he retired.
Is Barry Trotz not just like the best guy ever?
Great guy. A really, really good person. Even to this day, we were in Nashville. I was doing an event with Leafs Morning Take with Nick and Jay. We were down there for the show, and then we went to the game, the Leafs game. And that morning, I brought a few buddies to the room. You still have lots of friends and trainers and some guys that still play there. And Barry Trotz right away saw me, like came over, like made time to like talk about everything. And, just a great down to earth person who has a lot of power and a lot of, he's done a lot for the game, but he doesn't lose that fact that they're like, we're people, right? I think he puts that first, which is always nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I liked Barry. I had him as a coach for the World Championships one year, and the two of us got stuck at the airport together, and we had a long chat. And he's just good people.
They were Nashville was the first team, Wally, to do the dad's trip. They were the ones that started doing it. And I don't know if I told you this. Did you do the dad's trip with when you're with Nashville Huts?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When Trotzy, I don't know how you guys did it, but when I was there, Trotzy got up and spoke first and told this great story about his dad. Then he made everybody get up, and they had to tell a story about driving to the car, because we all did it in the rink, to the car with your dad in the car, and what you guys talked about. You had to share a story. It got emotional. Like Trotzy he broke down in front of the guys, and it was really good. Like,
he did something very similar. I remember that. I remember Colin Wilson's dad said something about the ice time or not being on the power. I don't know, something about bad.
Oh, did he?
So it made it real awkward in the room. But I do remember that moment. And my dad to this day still wears his Nashville Predators. He's got the jacket they had like for fatherships. They always gave him a gift. My dad always talked about the food. There's Never Hungry League. There's food everywhere.
Food's so good. Okay, I got to ask you. I want to get to Dylan Cousins in a sec, but goaltending backup in Ottawa. So there's still not really a decision made. Marilinen's an RFA. Anton Forsberg is pending UFA, and then they've got Matt Sogard signed to a one-way deal next year. But based on stats, who would you have as your backup next year?
So I don't hate Sogard in the fact that he has the contract. You can kind of maybe spot him starts and see how it goes, right? Because my thing is I think Levi is the next one. I think he's really good. I like his numbers. I like where he plays and how he plays. My worry is his age. And are you thrusting him into a position where you have your workhorse, you have Linus Ullmark, who's going to be your guy. He's your $8.25 million guy. Yeah. He's going to be a difference maker. But the fact of the matter is, if you have a guy that you're going to stunt his development by putting him in once every, not seeing as many games, that's where I get concerned for Levi. Where do you start with Sogard and then maybe see if it doesn't work out? Do you try to get a rental, or do you try to, move him back up, if that makes sense,
Yep.
In the protection of his development down the road, because, he's got to be your next guy, right? At his age. What is he, 22?
Is he in 02, Wally?
I believe so.
Yes, right. And I just think that's a little young to be the backup, when I think that you'd be better off playing 60, 55, 60 games in the American League, cutting your teeth.
But he came in and was outstanding.
Yeah, he was good.
He is 22. His record was like, he arguably saved the Sens season, 8-3-1, right? At a 925. Did he not show that he's ready to be the guy?
Yeah, but
let me just add to this, that if the Sens are a cap team or a budget team, as they're trying to say, then they don't have the money necessarily to pay Anton Forsberg what he likely will want.
Yeah. And I think you're safe to go roll with those twos. And I agree with you. My only concern is you have to get him enough games to not stunt that development. Yeah. And then it comes to the decision of, how many games do you want to play Linus Ullmark, right? If he's in that 50 to 60 range, where does it go? So for me, what I think the ideal situation template would be is look at St. Louis Blues with Binnington and Hofer, where Hofer's got enough starts over the last 2 years to really like keep his development going, right? Because you don't want to have him as a true backup. If you want a true backup, then go sign a guy for, you know, a veteran for, you know, $1 million or whatever that, right, you know what you're going to get. And I also feel like there is that Arthur Sheloff's feel to this with me. Okay. So what I say that is your first year in the league, emotions, baby, you're playing on them. You're like, you're flying, right? And now all of a sudden, now you got to be an everyday pro, an everyday NHLer. And there's a big difference from getting called up, riding that emotional wave, to being the guy that's got to be there every day. And then you're getting spotted starts here and there, and it gets trickier. So that would be my only concern, Brent, is the fact that when you become a full NHL guy, like there's no turning back. And look at Sheloff's. Sure. He just won the American League championship. He was unbelievable. He couldn't make a save in the NHL at the start of the year. And he just came off that playoff run where he was like the savior for the Canucks. So it is that the younger guys have way more emotions involved until you really learn how to become that everyday pro guy.
And also too, Huts, like with the amount of non-practicing NHL teams do now, like if you're the backup, you're not getting game situations in practice because it's so rare that the whole team even practices. There's days off, maintenance days. So to your point, like, yeah, do you want to just be playing every whatever fourth game and playing in these scenarios that aren't really game situations, or in the minors, cutting your teeth, playing a ton, prancing a ton. Yeah, it's a
tough one. I agree. And I think you could possibly have both rotating too. And I know for years, the 1 year with Jake Allen, they did that with Ville Husso and Jordan Binnington, right? It was kind of like one would go up, one would go down, one would go up. And if you have that fluidity, if you can make that work, and then there's also just the battle in camp too. So I don't know what the right formula is. The right formula is you have Linus Ullmark. Now you got to be strategic because he's been known to get banged up, right? And you got to make sure that he's your guy down the stretch run.
So what, okay, as you would be an expert in this and just being the backup, like what's the ideal number, say, for Merrillainen to play in the National Hockey League that wouldn't stunt his growth, for lack of a better term?
Yeah, I think if he could see like in the high 20s to 30 range, like that is because I still think you're going to want a guy to get that range anyway, because you're not going to want to play Linus Ullmark. Like he's not Connor Hellebuyck. He's
never played 50.
Right. He's never got there. So if you can get him to 30, I do think there is value to, I don't want to undervalue the NHL just being there. And I know there's lack of practice time, but like high reps with better players. And I always felt this way. I'd get called up for a little stint in the NHL, and then I'd go to the American League. And it's like someone just turned the speed down. It was like, wow, I am seeing it in slow motion right now. Right. Yeah. Where you start to adapt, you start to get there. And then I really feel like that's when you have to value your goalie coach and what he's going to do to help him on off days. And I'm a big believer in this. And I brought up St. Louis earlier. You look at when I was there with Jake Allen, I was the best goalie in the league statistically. I played in 30 plus games. And not, but Ville Husso.
No, I know you.
Ville Husso did it. He was unbelievable. Signed a big contract, bit of a flop. I was a bit of a flop after I left. Joel Hofer right now is a big name that is getting a lot of presence. I credit Dave Alexander, their goalie coach. He's like world class. He's a guy who's been with Team Canada. He just did the Four Nations Cup. He did the World Championships. This is a guy that has a ton of value, and he helps you in every facet of the game. So now as a management, if I'm there, what is this guy going to get? How is my goalie coach going to get him better? Because I believe that's an important piece for the backup. The game guy, you're like, it's little tweaks here or there. You're playing.
You brought that name up there, Hellebuyck. Explain to me how he wins. He's MVP. He's Vezina. Like,
you can't ask the goalie. They have to stick together.
I know, but like, what's going on with him?
Hellebuyck came to UMass, a little break on my records. We're not really buddies, you know what I mean? I was there for 4 years. He came in for 2 and smashed every record. But
why can't he win in the playoffs?
I know. I don't know if it's a mental block or I've had this conversation with a few guys. Me and Matt Murray, another guy from the Thunder Bay Connection. We were chatting about it, and he made a good point about the predictability of the playoffs just goes away compared to the regular season, right? And again, I think the way I thought of it is like you got 16 other teams that are a little more perimeter fluff teams, right? That aren't as good as you are come playoff time. Because every team that gets in the playoff is playing a tough brand of hockey. They're going to the net. They're making it hard. And I think Hellebuyck relies so much on his reads and predictability and being in the right spot. And now all of a sudden, it's just everything is magnified with traffic, with directions and tips and what goes on in the playoffs. And I truly believe that he just gets himself a little off kilter because he relies on being big and not sloppy. Like, he just lets the game come to him, which is an art, right? Which I don't want to undermine, but in the end, in the playoffs, it just has really got to him. And again, we look at another year where Sergei Bobrovsky, what is Sergei? He's not the biggest goalie, but he's the most athletic, and he can make those secondary saves, where I don't think Hellebuyck really has that in his game. His is more that first shot save mentality.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's
Should
crazy.
he have been MVP?
I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I guess
You're so bitter.
That sounds like a no to me.
I'm skewed. I know. I think what Leon did was pretty good. You know, I feel like that's hard to discredit what he did, especially with McDavid having like a quieter year. And again, not being a guy that plays every game, it's tough for me. You know, it's obviously really cool. It's great honor, but in a year that was so close, I thought Leon was going to win it. You know, if I had my pick.
Yep. No, that's fair. Dylan Cousins. I don't know how much you watched him. I know you cover the Sabres a bit. So can you offer up what you know of Dylan Cousins and what maybe a full year in Ottawa we should expect?
I think he'll settle in more and more. You know, he's a good character guy, a good dressing room guy. And it's not surprising the deal he got. You know, it's obviously a lot of money and term. But I think this is a player that they see value in a culture creator. Right. And you hear that buzzword all the time, right? Culture. But he is a good guy. He wears it on his sleeve. And I think that's something that's important. I don't think his ceiling is going to be crazy. I don't think he's just going to turn into this guy that, you know, creates a crazy amount of offense. But I feel like he is one of these players where as you start to build a team that's going to be in the playoffs, these are the kind of players you want. And we look at that template of what Florida was just able to do. And the meat and potatoes that they bring to the lineup. And I think this is a guy that down into your second, third line, wherever he's bouncing around at, I feel like he can play all the way up through the top nine and be very effective in any role you put him in. And on top of that, being a guy that wears it on his sleeve every single night for an organization that wants that, right? Who has Brady Tkachuk, who is the ultimate leader. I think Dylan Cousins falls right in line with that, with his mentality of how he plays. So I think this is a good deal. And they dealt away a guy who, at the end of the day, can't stay healthy, right? I think that's an important asset here when you talk about contract for contract, whether you like his deal or not. Moving that contract out and on a guy who's always hurt, and Josh Norris, I think, is an important factor in this deal.
When it comes to Cousins, did you like his compete level in the playoffs? Like, did you see him maybe elevate a little more than he has? Or is that, I guess, what we've maybe not noticed with him being in Buffalo?
Yeah, I think that's what you're going to see. I think when the game gets to that grittier area, he is going to be a better player. And I think that's something you're going to need. And when you look at the Atlantic, is it getting any easier, right? In this division, in this Eastern Conference, right? You look at the teams like Tampa Bay is going to be good again too. Toronto's going to be good again. Obviously, you don't know what happens with Mitch Marner and John Tavares, and there's a few moving parts in that. And then Florida, right? Like, look, again, it's going to be a dogfight to get in. I don't know if they're ready. I don't know if it's going to be that jump. Right. And then the Metro, where that's at, like each division, like you look at the teams that are atop there, Carolina's not really going to take a step back. Washington might be that team for me in the East in the playoffs, like might have a bit of a setback because last year just felt like this unicorn year for them where everything fell perfectly into place and the way Thompson played. But that being said, I think Ottawa is trending in the right direction. And I truly believe that Dylan Cousins is going to be a big piece come those tough times a year, right? As the game starts to tighten up, I think a guy with more grit and the way he's wired is going to help this team.
He just turned 24 years old, Wally. He's 6'3". He's 6'3". It's his first taste of the playoffs. I was trying to explain to Wally because we were having an argument the other day that how the Sens going to get better. Well, young players I just like Cousins, sure. Like I get what you're saying about the offense, but
yeah,
he's going to learn from that playoff. And same with a guy like Stützle. That's his first playoff. That's Pinto's first playoff. That's Kachuk's first playoff. Like young guys get better once they get that experience. Like it's not like these guys are 30 years old.
For sure. And like back to my point that I was talking about with the goalies, right? We talk about Sheloffs and experience versus mental. Because I always remember this when Garrett Sparks came in. Do you remember Garrett Sparks with the Toronto Maple Leafs? And he got a shutout his first game. And everybody's like, oh, We got our guy.
Toronto.
We got our guy, and he was so good. And then all of a sudden you like fit, because you have to learn to play. And it's the same for a player, right? You learn like, okay, next year now we're already have a little bit of a playoff hunt. We're in there. Now, how am I preparing my body for the playoffs? Now I know what I'm getting myself into, because you don't know until you've been in it. You know the energy that you're just like that it takes and the wherewithal and everything that goes into it. That's why I look at the Florida Panthers and like, yes, they repeated, but they know like this is the time to shine here. Look at Brad Marchand. Early in the year, like Brad Marchand sucked, right? We were like, this guy's done. He's done. Couldn't believe he
had like 19 surgeries coming into the season.
Right. And then all of a sudden he's like, but he's a pro. He understands the playoff. He knows what he takes. He's been to the dance. And again, like these younger players, they're only going to get better. And 24 is young. 24 is young. He's still got a lot of good games and hockey ahead of him.
Yeah, he's just learning. We'll hopefully have a chat with him later this year. What? Don't say anything about tomorrow. I don't know yet.
Okay, I won't say anything.
Carter, before we go, I need to know how you become man of the year. This is a prestigious honor. I don't know if it includes a car deal or what happens, but can you, because yesterday you told me or this morning about this big volleyball, and I thought you were joking until you sent me the picture. This is the league you play in.
That's it.
This is impressive.
So we got that's out of my cabin. We got a big beachfront and it's shallow sand. So I don't know. They had these poles. So we rigged up a net one year and we started playing, and now it's turned into it's called 2 Island Super Spike. That's the name of it. It's volleyball, but our rules are pretty loose because we're not volleyball players. So we allow a lift here or there.
Yeah.
And we got about 8. There's about 10 of us that play. We try to have 8 each Tuesday. And then one guy's responsible for dinner each week. We have a sauna after, a couple beers and dinner. And then it started with, we had MVP, right? We had at the end of the year, we do a finals, a wrap up, 2 teams. So it's just 2 teams. So I would always laugh because everywhere I played, everybody knew about this volleyball. Like, oh, Hutz doesn't even go to the gym. He just plays volleyball all summer. He thinks he's an NHLer. And they'd always laugh, be like, how'd you do this year? I'm like, I lost in the final. They're like, oh, that's pretty good. You made the final. I'm like, yeah, but there's only 2 teams. And we started with MVP, and there's about 3 or 4 of us that won MVP.
Yeah, you're the 2018 MVP.
There's not a lot of guys that are good enough to win MVP. And that being said, so then we turned it into man of the year. So then man of the year became, some guys had kids and they had, a big year, whatever they were doing. And then each year, everyone has to bring their dinner. Then their dinner became a ranking. And then, guys started buying merchandise for the league. We have team hats, we have shorts. So we used to joke, if you have to be a new member, you have to show your T4 because we had to make sure you had enough money to cook a good dinner for us. But no, it's been a lot of fun. It's a good group of buddies just to keep us together. And we try to keep it fun. And I always joke it's a real league because we got stats.
You got you're top of the league.
Put that pic back up. I want to. That looks sick, like with the sun in the background.
What a great picture.
So is there like a barrel?
All I have in my head, by the way, is the Top Gun theme. Is all I can think of right now.
Yeah, there's the sun sets on that side, so it's always beautiful. So it started with I just had a water ski rope around the court, and then so each year we do the noodles, and we have it all figured out. We got a custom net made because it's not as big. Yeah, we got it all. It's really upgraded over the years, and it's a lot of fun. My wife laughs at me because every night we go out there, I was like, "How was it?" And she's like, "You're not competitive, eh?" Because it always ends up in a huge argument. I got so many videos of guys fighting and arguing, and but it's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's sick. So nice.
So this explains at the bottom where it says the 2025 dinners: Matt meatball subs, Craig sausages, mac and cheese, and Evan dessert.
Yeah. So why it says Evan dessert is, so last night a guy brought out sausages and he made like homemade mac and cheese, and he made this dessert, but it was very similar to Evan Woodland, who plays in the league, a famous dessert that he made. So I always make sure that, and then our one buddy in the standings, he didn't show up. He's over in Italy right now with his wife. So the boys are just abusing him that he's not there playing volleyball. So it was his 40th birthday yesterday. So I showed out in the standings. This is what I do in retirement, Wally.
This is great. This is well looked at. I'm very impressed. Very impressed. Past the 2019 champion right here, Carter Hutton. We appreciate your time, sir. I'll try to get you a mug. They're very hard to come by. So
I can believe it, but that's okay. Well, even a t-shirt, I don't. Maybe I'll just make my own shirt. I don't know. Who knows? I'll get you guys in the volleyball league someday.
I'd love it.
Yorkie's all in. But Yorkie won't play with me. So thanks again. We'll talk soon. Enjoy the rest of the summer, my friend.
Okay, thanks, guys. You too.
Thanks, Hutz.
See you guys.
See ya. Happy anniversary, by the way.
What a beauty. What a beauty.
So Yeah.
That Thunder Bay, underrated summer town. Like, who knew they had that great volleyball league going on? He's got the barrel sauna back there. I didn't ask him. I wonder if he's got a cold tub back there too, Wally. That would just be
Well,
perfect.
I'm going to guess the water in Thunder Bay is not overly warm.
Yeah, but I told you for optimum plunging, cold plunging, you need it at 52 degrees. You can't have it. Yeah.
Do you have the one with the filter, by the way, in the hot tub? Like cold tub?
Yes,
Is
I got the culture.
Oh,
the culture tub.
Oh.
Yeah.
My son wanted one time. I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. So he went and bought bags of ice and put it in the tub, and then like 3 minutes later, the ice is all gone.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. It's inflatable, and you put it up. It's got a little top on it. You shut it up, shut it down. Yeah, no, it's good. You have to have a filter to keep the water moving. Otherwise, you don't want stagnant water, Wally, because that's when it won't stay clean.
Sorry, I totally forgot. I was supposed to promote the July 1st free agent frenzy. I told Carter, this is why one of the reasons I said I'll have you on to promote the show. July 1st, between 11 and 2, the Nation Network's doing their the Daily Faceoff channel is doing free agent special. So Tyler Yakemchuk, Jeff Merrick, Colby Cohen, Johnny Lazarus, Puckpedia founder Hart Levine, and Carter Hutton, Matt Barnaby. Of course, all the reporters across the country, they are a part of this. So if there's anything breaking from the Ottawa Senators, will be on that show as well. And then if the Sens do much, we will do a show after. So on July 1st, start your day with Daily Faceoff beginning at 11 a.m. for a free agent show. I think last year I think they had like 70,000 people watching that show. It was something ridiculous. So anyway, it's a good show. Okay. Sorry. Now I'm all thrown off because I didn't do my job properly. Let's just take care of some final business. The Shoeless Joes. Today being today's Wednesday, right?
It's Wednesday. Yep.
Big Burger Energy Wednesdays. So bring your appetite. Burgers start at $10 and they're massive. Shoeless Joe's not playing around. So daily specials all week long. You can check them out for yourselves Sunday to Thursday. Burgers, wings, cold beer, solid prices, no fluff, just the good stuff. 5 nights a week. Shoeless Joe's, daily deals, big flavors, and good times on repeat. We got to get out there, Yorkie, you and I. We're going to plan to do a show at some point. Also, do you want to do BEI or do you want me to do it? I never know if you're ready.
Well, you're on a roll right now. You can keep going. Yeah, I like your energy. You might as well run with it.
Oh, by the way, so BEI, if you need to get your driveway resealed, now is a perfect time. Give them a call, 613-432-1120, or go to bonishirexcavating.com. Also, if you're looking for aggregate topsoil sales, get all your landscaping done through them. They are, by the way, if you're looking for some employment, they are hiring. So give them a call right now. Check them out online, bonishirexcavating.com. BEI, helping to shape the Ottawa Valley. Yep.
Go ahead. Finish up.
Well, I don't. And finally, I think Bet365 is our proud presenting sponsor of the show. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary. Bet365. Download the app, get in on the game. Use code NATION, NATION, at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, visit connectsontario.ca. I think I'm done.
I just paved my driveway. Here's a question for our good listeners and viewers. What is the optimal time? I'm using that word a lot today, to let your driveway rest before you park on it.
Well, didn't they tell you when they did it?
Well, they said a couple days, but then I talked to some people. I AI'd it, and it's like, you should wait a week. You should wait 2 weeks.
I think it's a week.
Well, with the heat we've had the last couple days, especially what was like 45 with the Humidex, I think you got to extend it by another week, Wally. So I'm going 2 weeks.
Well, the only issue is if you're letting cars sit on it. If you're not, then you should be all right.
Well, I'm gonna be cautious, and I'm gonna go 1 more week. I'm gonna go 2 weeks. 2 weeks off the driveway. Am I being overcautious?
Well, is there such a thing? So here's what I'll tell you. I had my driveway. We moved into a new house. They had to actually rip the driveway out because they didn't do it properly the first time. A year later, I have a basketball net on my driveway that the kids never use. That's a whole other story. But it has left a mark in the driveway, an indentation. So I don't know that there's actually the right time.
All right, well, I'm going 2 weeks.
So never park on it is basically what I'm telling you.
Never park. Yeah.
Okay, there was something else I was supposed to get to, but now I can't remember.
Yeah.
So here is Zdeno Chara going in the hall. I meant to ask.
We haven't even talked about Big Z. Yeah, we talked about Mogilny. We talked about Jumbo Joe Thornton, one of the best guys ever. Zdeno Chara.
So okay, here's my own question before we move to Z, because this comes up every year.
Yeah.
Do you have, and neither Elmo or Joe Thornton won a Stanley Cup.
They didn't win. No.
So where does that rank for you on the list of important things to get in to the Hall of Fame?
Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
I think it's important. You know who I think it's really important for? I think it's really important for goalies. I just think, and we're seeing it right now with Hellebuyck. I just think especially for goalies, the playoffs, because you're usually playing every game if you're a starter, the mindset and the pressure is just
correct.
Totally different. Totally different. What's correct?
Mogilny won a cup in 2000 with the Ducks.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you.
I weigh it. I don't know if it's just me again. It's just my opinion. I weigh it more heavily for goaltenders because I just think it takes a special goaltender to win in the playoffs. I really do, because they've got to be nerves of steel, handle the pressure. They're the most important guy in the playoffs. And I think goalies that win Stanley Cups, I just think that should weight more heavily for them. For players, I think it all depends on your resume. Like we talked about Mogilny's resume, what he did. Thornton as well. Like the amount of games, just the longevity that Thornton played at a high level. He won an MVP as well. He won a scoring championship. To me, Joe Thornton to this day is one of the best passers and setup guys. Like, again, I go to the criteria of, were you at one time in your career one of the best in the world at what you do? And I can honestly say Thornton for a while was the best passer in the game. He was the best passer in the game. And that, to me, that's just that separates you from the pack. Whereas the regular season for goaltenders, like, a lot can be dependent on the team you play on, the system you play. All of that really factors in. But playoffs, it's like totally different. But
so here's all right. I know they have to put guys into the Hall of Fame because they need every year to have somebody come and watch.
It sells the game. It sells the game, and it's good for the game, and it's something to talk about. It's slow. It's slow in the summer.
I think it should be harder.
I do too. Like, I think it's become. I don't want to put this, because I still think it is such an exceptional honor to be in the Hall of Fame. Like, it's awesome. It's great, and I don't want to diminish it.
It's almost like being drafted, but anyway, go ahead.
But I think it's turned into the Hall of. I think it's turned into the Hall of Very Good.
Yes,
it's
I agree.
And again, very good is really, really good. Like, it's very good, but yeah, I do agree to that, because they're putting guys in every year, and like, hey, sometimes, like, if it's going to be the Hall of Fame, you don't have to do it every year, but that's the way it is. It's the way. And I don't have a problem with it. Like, these guys are great players, and the women and the men and the builders, and no issue. But to your point, I do agree with you. Yeah, it's like, because before, when you used to think about the Hall of Fame, you'd think about Gretzky, Belleville, Lemieux, the Rocket. Like,
right. But the problem was there wasn't as many teams. So those guys always dominated. Yeah. And there's always a first, right? The first to 500 goals, the first to 50 in a season.
Yep.
But maybe we just don't appreciate today's player. Like, I think of Duncan Keith, and I'm like,
oh, I think he deserves it. I think he deserves it.
Well, he played 1,256 games. Like, I think if you're over 1,000 games, you should, or no, you know what? I think 1,000 points, you should automatically be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I think, sorry to cut you off, but I think winning the Conn Smythe trophy is one of the best awards in hockey, because you're doing it during the playoffs, which is way harder than the regular season. way harder because it's the best teams, the best competition. You're playing all the time. He's got a Conn Smythe, and he's got multiple cups, and he's won
3.
some other things. Like his resume is outstanding. Like it's that Conn Smythe to me. It's like bonus points when you're going into someone's Hall of Fame credentials. Like it's like, yeah, you won whatever trophies during the regular season. They're still great. Don't get me wrong, but Conn Smythe, Stanley Cup, that's like, to me, those are like Bowers and Euchre. You slam one of those down, bam, I got a Conn Smythe. I got a Stanley Cup.
I mean, 2-time Olympic gold medalist.
Yep.
Like that stuff matters.
But for me, I wait. It's just me. I wait Stanley Cups and Conn Smythes and what you do in the playoffs.
Yeah.
More than regular season, more than international, because it's just we know what it is.
I know, but best on best.
The Stanley Cup is the hardest trophy to win. I agree in all sports. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
it's the hardest, and what it takes. Like you look at guys. Like
wait, let me debate this with you. What about the Mem Cup?
The Memorial Cup?
And the only reason is because there's so many teams to get to the Mem Cup. You have had to have gone through a lot to get there. That's all.
I played a Memorial Cup.
I know, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I would say a Calder Cup's harder, an American League Championship,
which I can't believe just ended like yesterday or the day before. Congrats to Christian Milanen. But that seems crazy. It just ended. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, because in the American League, you're playing against guys that are scratching and clawing with the NHL. They don't want to be there. They're angry. There's fighting. There's men. It's way harder than junior, Wally. It's vicious. The American League. You know what? I'll even say an East Coast League championship's harder to win.
Oh, stop.
Listen. I just had a chat with Tugger, Ron Tugnut. His son, Matt Tugnut, played in the Coast. Tugger and I were together at the Ottawa Hospital tournament, and he was asking me about my son, Jack, who's going to play in Sweden. So Jack's going to go play in Stockholm, and Tugger's like, don't send him to the East Coast League. He goes, his son, Matty, just got there. He got his whole face reconstructed, his jaw broken, all this stuff. He goes, people say the Coast is a skill league now, and it's not like that. He goes, bullshit. He goes, it's an absolute gong show down there. I haven't seen a lot of Coast games. This is what Tugger was saying. But yeah, winning an East Coast League championship, that's something, Wally.
All right. Just in breaking news. The Sens have released their preseason schedule. Okay. Starts September 21st. They go Toronto at Ottawa, 3 p.m. on a Sunday. Monday, they're in Toronto. And then it's the 2 preseason games in Quebec City, September 28th and September 30th. And then October the 2nd, they're in St. Louis. Interesting. And then Saturday the 4th, Ottawa's at Montreal. So they will only play 1 preseason game in Ottawa this year, September 21st.
Okay.
Is that do we feel slightly cheated?
No, it's preseason. I don't know. How many games total? 6. Yeah, I don't know. Guys want to get preseason over and done with.
Like they lose the games because of Quebec City, right? New Jersey, although I thought one of them was going to be a visiting team. They consider both of them home games. New Jersey at Ottawa and then Montreal at Ottawa.
I heard a rumor that the NHL wants to go to 84. I say, hey, we're going to cut down your preseason games and we're going to go to 84 games. And the players are like, no, we're not doing that. Because
not everybody plays in the preseason, right? You play
the intensity is way less. It's just the season's long enough.
Well, and you don't get paid. If you add 2 more games, do you get better? Do you get more in your contract later? Not currently the one that's negotiated, but they've been talking about 84 for a while now. It used to be 84.
Mm-hmm.
You played during the 84s, I believe.
I don't think so. I think the most I played was 82. I can't remember. It's all a blur, Wally. It's all a blur.
All right.
Let's get out
tomorrow. Here. Okay, because I got to get ready for tomorrow's big show.
Confirmed? Is he confirmed?
Well, I don't know. He was confirmed last time, and then
okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So we're possibly
We should be on the air tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time
with who?
with a guest. And Graham.
Okay. Big guest potentially. We'll see everybody tomorrow.
See everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks to Carter Hutton for joining the show.
See everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to Coming In Hot. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode.